And then someone else said that,
Oh, I'm really good at giving advice because I'm non-judgmental.
I don't know if people think that's a good thing because that just means you're a yes man.
What the fuck is a righteous glory?
If you've seen the channel name, then you already know who I am. The weirdest part about life is when you learn so much that you realize that you don't really know anything that you were talking about prior to what you already knew. It's funny because my whole life growing up, I've prided myself with being a really good advice giver. I don't think that's a thing, but that's what I called it. I thought that I gave really good advice. It made me feel necessary, like I had a purpose, I had usefulness, I was competent in something. I always assumed that I knew what I was talking about and that my advice was absolute, and if you don't follow my advice, then you're fucking stupid and you should die. I was very stuck in my ways, so I felt like if you didn't follow the advice I gave you to the T, then you're gonna fuck up your life and you're really just not smart. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you listen to me? I know exactly what I'm talking about. Recently, I was in this group of people, and I won't give any context again because this is, current, so I can't really speak too much on it. But I was in this group of people, and we were all asked two things that we're good at doing for other people. And almost all of them said that I can either give really good advice or I'm a good listener. And after hearing everyone answer the question, I realized that a lot of people pride themselves in giving good advice or being good listeners, when in reality, we're not as good as we think we actually are. Because I can tell you from personal experience and from having conversations with the people in this group, first off, a lot of them can't give any good fucking advice. And to even having conversations with them, they cannot fucking listen for shit. Some of them have terrible listening skills. And my thing is, if you're really bad at active listening, then you're probably pretty terrible at giving advice too, because how can you give advice to something that you really did not fully grasp or take in? And then someone else said that,
Oh, I'm really good at giving advice because I'm non-judgmental.
I don't know if people think that's a good thing because that just means you're a yes man and you're not going to hold me accountable or say shit to me. You're just gonna sit there and not judge. Me personally, if I'm coming to someone for advice, right? Not for them to listen to me, not to vent. If I'm asking for advice, I want you to keep it real with me and tell me the truth. If you have to judge me in that process, go ahead. That's what I want. I want the best possible outcome. And I like shit raw. Wait, hold on, wait. Let me correct that because that doesn't sound right. I like people to be blunt and honest with me, even if those words hurt, because words fucking hurt. And I don't know why these shits feel like little knives every now and then, but they fucking sting. I still want it blood raw though. I don't want you to hold back anything. And on a regular basis, I'm big on live and let live. But when I heard this person say that,
Oh, I'm completely non-judgmental and I don't judge people.
the first thought that came to my mind was, cap. And my second thing was, if you're non-judgmental, when and how do you actually judge people? Because judgment is a survival instinct. But I'm not going to go there today because there's no reason to. Because we're talking about one thing, and that's advice. When people come to you, I think it's important to know what exactly they're looking for. Because some people want advice, and some people just want you to listen. Sometimes people aren't always good at communicating these things, but that's why you have to have really good listening skills before you can give anyone advice. And I'm going to be honest, my listening skills are not the best. Sometimes I have to actively tell myself, listen, you're in the process of listening right now. Do not talk, do not speak, do not even say Take in what they're saying so that when you respond, you give them something of value. And the other reality that I've noticed is that sometimes when people go to other people for advice, the person that's being asked assumes that my purpose now is to dictate the rest of your life and tell you exactly what you need to do. And if you don't do this, then you're a piece of shit. At least that's how I did it, because that's just me. I learned two very important lessons today. The first one being that most people like to solve their own problems, which is why a lot of really good therapists, counselors, and life coaches won't give you any answers. They just ask you a bunch of questions to where you find your own answer. Because if you're giving everyone the answer, then you're not actually learning anything. I know you learned that in first grade because I fucking did. I was reminded of that every fucking day well, actually, I never asked for answers. People ask me for answers, but I'm not here to brag or flex or anything. The second thing being that I don't really know shit. I don't know shit. Don't come to me for advice because what the fuck am I going to tell you as an 18-year-old with zero life experience? Can't tell you about relationships. I can't tell you what it is to be a man. And I definitely can't tell you what your purpose is or what you should do with your life. So please don't come to me with that shit. Because I think a really important aspect to being able to give advice is having empathy. And no, not sympathy, because a lot of people like to confuse empathy and sympathy, but having empathy because then you know exactly what the person has been through, or you can relate or resonate with that because you've been through a very similar experience. And if I don't know what it's like to have toxic parents or to live in like really bad poverty or things like that, then I can't really give you advice on that, my G. I can talk to you. I can have an open discussion. I can have a conversation. But advice, that's kind of out of my field. I can't really say much. I'm not qualified for that. And another thing that's really fucking tiring is that when you become a person that's known for giving good advice, people always want advice. You know that fish quote about how if you give a guy a fish, then he's gonna be fed for one day, but if you teach him how to fish, then he's gonna be a fucking badass? I realize that quote is so important because there's a difference between teaching somebody to be reliant on you and teaching someone to be self-sufficient. And if you're giving advice to where people will have to come back to you to ask you more, then you're not actually helping them. You're just saying, hey, I know all. I'm your fucking father, and you're going to listen to me. You're not actually saying that, but you're kind of actually indirectly saying that. And I don't want that because that's really draining to always have people asking you what they should do with their lives. Because, bro, I don't know. I honestly don't. Can't help you with that. I like talking to people. I like having conversations. We can discuss a few things and bounce ideas off of each other. But if you want a definite answer, then you're gonna have to take that to the man up there because I'm not that guy. Moral of the story: don't pride yourself in being a good advice giver for a selfish reason. If you really want to help someone, guide them in a direction to where they won't need your help anymore. In my opinion, those are the best type of advice givers.